Carrie popping, huh? Let's do this. Ooh, the word breaks down matters of the heart. Ashley Tapley, the prophet. Come on, let me go.
The prophet.
The prophet. That's that powerhouse right there. Let's see if we can go ahead and invite her to our Facebook Live.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because the church, you know what I'm saying, they got that prayer line or not.
Yeah, they probably going hard right now as we speak.
I want them to go hard. I want them to pray like their
Pray
life
down
depend
fire.
on it.
Shh.
Hey, how you doing, CJ? Hey, Nancy. Tell the wife, hey. She probably like, man, I'm going to bed.
Nah, she gonna stay up for this.
He said, it's just me tonight.
Uh-oh. That's all right.
We gonna cut through, though, because we got to talk about these boundaries.
Uh-huh. Ain't nothing like it right here.
Woo.
Now, everybody, as you guys come on, you know the drill. You know the rules. Go ahead and start sharing like never before. Let people know where we going, what we doing. Okay. She's talking to her daughter.
Oh, okay.
That's good. That's good. Families coming together. That's what we want to see.
That's what we want to see. Hello, Brother
Okay.
A-Shock. Or Brother Massey.
Let me see here.
I'm trying to get my stuff in order.
Okay. All right, so good. I wanted to make sure
Hey,
that we
Jermael.
were still good. Jermael is in here. That's good stuff. All right, let me go ahead. Let me share to a couple of my friends right quick. Let's get it going. Share,
Hey,
share,
Tiffany.
share.
Hey. We getting ready to go on in. So we got to talk about these boundaries, though, on tonight. I think that a lot of times we kind of violate boundaries in marriage, knowingly and unknowingly. And we gonna get into that so that, you know what I'm saying, we could understand how to set these boundaries in a healthy way with family members, because we don't want, family members to feel as though they're not important, because sometimes that happens when we set boundaries within a marriage. Hi, Pastor Mark James. Hi, Vanessa. And when we don't, set them properly, a lot of times we burn relationships like in snap judgment style. Mm-hmm. So we're about to get into that on tonight.
We're gonna get it going. You guys, as you guys come on in, go ahead and just share it with your friends and your family members. We are sharing it with some of our friends right now as we speak, and I know that it's gonna be a blessing. Let's do it. Oh my goodness.
Tell me where you guys are from on tonight. Hey, cousin Frida. Hey, Geraldine. Thank you, Pastor Mark. Hey, Diddy. Yeah, these boundaries, though. You know what I'm saying? Tell me where you from. Say, hi, my name is, and I'm from. Let me know in the comment section where you from. Just a quick announcement. On tomorrow night, we'll be on live unless something unusual goes down with Marriage Uncut. So, follow us on over to that, because we will be going hard on Marriage Uncut.
Oh, yeah. And it's always uncut.
Yeah, it's always uncut.
No, we don't hold back on those there.
I mean, well, is there much more we could say on here? I don't think we hold back much on here either.
No, I don't think we hold back on ours either. People like, oh my God, I'm glad it happens at 10, baby. We
put the children to bed.
Put the children to bed. Let's get some grown up knowledge in here.
Mm-hmm.
Get some grown talk.
Grown people's conversations. So invite, share. Nancy, you're from Australia. Praise the Lord.
All right.
Houston, Pastor Mark. Praise the Lord. Hey, cool, Travera.
Cool.
So we about to get started in a couple of more moments. We're trying to get everybody in the room. Come on in the room. Come on in the room. Come on in the room, because you know we gotta get this right on tonight. We had a conversation I think it was Monday night, and we were asked to delve into setting proper boundaries inside of marriage. And so we were like, well, what are we going to talk about? Oh, let's talk about setting boundaries. And setting boundaries is inside of our book.
Yeah, there it goes right there.
The Unbreakable Marriage. We talk about setting boundaries and how to do it in a healthy way. And to, you know, keep your relationship with your family, with your parents, with your friends, you know what I mean? Just because, you know, you get married doesn't mean you shut the entire world out. You can maintain healthy relationships even though you are married, within reason and within boundaries. You know what I mean? Like, don't go kicking your spouse underneath the table, talking about them badly.
Mm-hmm.
CJ Ford, I can watch you but can't comment. I don't know what that looks like. Let me take a look, because I keep all of the videos
pretty open.
They're there for everyone. Okay, hopefully now, CJ, you should be able to come on in. Hey, Cinnamon. Hey, Chiffon. Hey, Dominique. So we're going to get on started. We're just trying to get everybody in the room right quick. Tell us where you're from. Tell us where you're from. Tell us where you're from.
See here. Texas, near Houston.
Yes, H-Town. Is it wrong for a husband to want to explain himself to his wife for understanding and clarification? Sweeney, Texas. Praise God, Weta. How you doing? Hey, Mildred. CJ, no. I don't feel like it's wrong to explain, you know, for clarification's sake. You know what I mean? The Bible says, how could two walk together lest they agree? You have to reason with your spouse. You have to give her, you know, you have to make sure that you're both being heard and you both understand, because understanding kills the spirit of arguments and vain arguments and the spirit of confusion. So I don't think there's anything wrong with, you know, making sure that, you know, your spouse understands where you're coming from. You know, I would prefer spouses understand where we're coming from versus, you know, dealing with arguments and confusion all of the time. Like, I prefer understanding. And anyone that's like, well, you don't have to explain yourself.
Yeah, they wrong for that. Don't listen to people that tell you that you don't got to explain yourself. If you are married, you owe it to the other person to explain yourself. And it doesn't matter in what area. If they ask you a question, you owe it to them that you give them an answer. There's no days where you can wake up and say, I'm not going to give my spouse an answer. That's the whole thing about being married. That is your accountability partner. That is your partner in crime. That's your partner in riches. That's your partner in sickness. That's your partner in health. That's your partner. So anytime when you can gain more understanding or give more understanding and share, unless your partner says, I don't want to hear it anymore, I'm tired, like they just need to go to sleep, y'all need to slide it under the rug just for a second until tomorrow, okay, but you owe that person all of that, all right? So always give that accountability partner the respect that they deserve. I mean, that's what we're going to be talking about actually on tonight, because respect helps you to have boundaries, and that's what it's all about. Where there's no respect, there's no boundaries. And so talking, sharing, especially as men, talking about what really matters, sharing about what really matters, that's what you want to do. You don't want to be that stone-hearted man that only comes home to, you know, have sex. or only
Hey,
comes
Blair.
home just to, you know what I'm saying, see the kids. Like you have to share your emotions with the other person and give as much explanation as possible for all of your emotions. You know, give as much explanation as possible for your dreams, your visions, the reasons why you are the way you are. I think that helps so much. And then be open to hear it. Let's say your wife doesn't like that certain place that you are in, or that thing that you don't like to do, or you like to do, whatever it might be. Be open to listening and hearing what they have to say, and maybe even changing some of your behaviors, because sometimes our behaviors can be all over the place, and then we share them with our wives, and our wives like, yeah, nah, that's not what that is. You know, that's not how we do this here. You know, in the Anthony clan, that's not how we do this, right? And then we get offended because it's what we thought is supposed to happen. Like, this is our natural thought for marriage. This is our natural thought for what we are supposed to be doing. And that's not always the case. So we have to learn to listen to our spouses and understand and talk with our spouses, not talk down, because that you break boundaries when you talk down. You disrespect someone when you act as though you're better than them and you have all the answers and you're never wrong. And that goes for the women. That goes for the men.
That's the spirit of self-righteousness.
Come on, y'all. You know, we got to get that right. Go ahead, babe. Go ahead, babe.
And so when we're dealing in the area of, like I can pick up right there in the spirit, dealing with spirits of self-righteousness and spirits of pride, a lot of times those two spirits actually enter through doors of low self-esteem, low self-worth, insecurity. And so you have to have the ability to actually mend the fence in those areas inside of your spouse. Find out, you know, what happened that was traumatic, what happened that would cause these spirits to invade your life, invade your marriage, invade your spouse's heart, their spirit, and begin to, you know, bring healing and deliverance to your spouse. So let the wife be in control. I'm not saying let the wife be in control. The Bible says, submit ye one to another. And first, before you get to the point of that's like going to the next level, actually, when submitting one to another. Really, it's husband submits to Jesus, wife submits to the husband. Husband loves the wife as Christ loved the church, gave himself up for the church, washing her with the waters of the word to present her faultless to himself. So when you come to a place where you have loved your wife and washed her clean, when you've come to a place where her submittance is what your desire for, because every husband's level or what he thinks submission is going to be different. Because some husbands will say, my wife don't submit to me, she don't listen, but everything else is done. You know what I mean? She cooks, she cleans, she does everything else. You know, but your priority is somewhere else on submission. So every husband must bring a definition to what he thinks submission is. But once you get to the level of y'all are in your groove, you have an understanding, you work your marriage the way only you can work your marriage. Then I'm about to guess this is the perfect segue into boundaries.
Here we go.
Where you can work it only the way that you two can work it, and you've come on one accord. You are one. Now you can cross over into the land of submit ye one to another, and that's a beautiful land because, you know, a lot of times, sometimes wives can feel undervalued, underappreciated, not listened to, not heard because of what the intention or the spirit behind submission can be. And if we begin to address the spirit properly, then you begin to move into a place where, you know, submission is what you both understand it is to one to another versus the world's aspect. And what I mean by the world's aspect, I'm talking about false, you know, the spirits of doctrine, erroneous doctrine within the body of Christ, you know, chauvinism, submission, all of these things that enter in from the outside to bring damage to the inside of the marriage. Yeah. You have to have the ability to work your marriage only the way y'all can. So certain things have to stay out of your marriage. Number one. Now, when we talk about family boundaries, we're talking about coming on one accord and two becoming one. The goal is one, becoming one. That's the goal of your marriage. The goal of your marriage is You come from your background, how your parents raised you. You come from your background from how your parents raised you, and you blend that together and you create one unit, one family, one marriage, one band, one sound. And you create this lifestyle based upon being one. And sometimes men and women have a hard time cleaving. Hey, May, we can leave all day. And some folk have a problem with leaving. But you have to have the ability to cleave. Cleave means join together. Hold tight, hold fast to. So when you leave, you hold fast to your spouse. And what happens is you become one family. Hi, Ben, bless you. When you become one, what happens is you cause everything else. All of the boundaries will stop and break. So we look at after the fall in the Garden of Eden. Now, first of all, the marriage between Adam and Eve was created within the garden, right? Mm-hmm. But the family unit itself was created outside of garden. They were put out. When she was pregnant, they were out, okay? They were put out. And so the family unit was not birthed in the garden. The marriage was. So everything that flows from your union, your children, your grandchildren, your parents, your friends, all of them are outside of the garden. But inside of the garden is you and your spouse. And we have to make sure that our marriages are speaking to the delight of being inside of Eden. And how we do that is everything has to stop outside of outside the garden. Meaning, I've come to learn to love my husband's heart. Loving his heart means I have to love his parents. I have to love all. This man got a gang load of siblings. Like, I come from a house where it was me, my daddy, my mama, and my little sister. Okay. I marry into like 30 extra people.
And half of them is he didn't even know about until in the middle of the marriage. It's like, oh, I got some extra sisters.
Like, here you go. We bringing some more home.
We got some more. Okay. They kept popping. All right. Well, let the Lord use you. You got to love them all.
You got to love them all.
And they all got different personalities.
They're all different people.
They all got hard personalities, some of them. Some of them got nasty personalities. Some of them just don't care. Look, when you're merging families, sometimes some people just don't like you just because you coming in a family. Mm-hmm. All right? Some people just, they don't want to talk to you. They might have something nasty to say about you.
Hey,
but you're still merging and becoming one. Even if that other family member has deep resentment about you, like let's say that mom thought that son was supposed to marry the one that the mom always loved, right? Uh-huh. But now he got the one that he loved, and now he trying to bring that great woman into this marvelous family that hates her. You know what I'm saying? Like this happens all the time when we get married. People get married and it's just like, dude, I thought we were coming together, not me coming to the slaughter. Mm-hmm. Why every Thanksgiving it feels like I'm being hung on a cross? Like what's going on, right? All this stuff really happens. How do we get it together? How do we make it work? How do you make it work when everyone seems to want to just jump into your marriage and tell you how to do it and when you should do it and all that type of thing? Hey, Donna, how are you?
Hey, Donna.
Come on now. We in here. Everyone as you're coming on, please go ahead and just share this. Adrian. Because everyone needs to know some good boundaries. Hey, Aunt Adrian. We love Aunt Adrian. See, she was the one that when we came in.
He has to love my heart, my aunts.
But she's easy to love, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, we see, y'all, let's do it the right way. We talking about those people that's hard to love. It's easy to love. Like, as soon as I met Adrian, it was like, because she looked so much like Carrie, I just fell in love with her. It was just
my
like...
family has the strongest genes possibly.
you know.
On the planet.
But she like, hey, you know, she's a wonderful individual, gorgeous in all of her ways. Like, I love Aunt Adrienne to the max, right? And it's just like we've always had a great connection. But then you have those family members that you just don't have a great connection with. How do you make that work? You know, how do you get involved and try to give your heart? Because the truth of the matter is, you have to give your heart because she has given her heart, you know, or he has given her heart, or he has given his heart, and you gotta love that other person's heart. That's how you become one. You can't say you hate his mom but love him. Oh, I know that's hardcore. You can't say, see, she loves us back. See, she loves us, right?
Hey,
you can't say that you hate his dad, right, and still love him. You can't say that you hate all of his grandparents, his aunties and uncles, but you still love him. Like, you don't want to go to no family reunions. You don't want to go to no 4th of July. You don't want to do anything. You just like, I hate them to the max. Like, you can't hate your family because they are your family and say you love your spouse. The Bible is very clear that you have to love, you got to love your neighbor just like you love yourself. So that spouse's family, you should consider them like your neighbor. Like, you wouldn't hate yourself, so you shouldn't hate them. You should spread the love. You should get rid of all that stuff. Even if they talk bad about you, they slandered your name, they did all the worst things about you, your job is to say, you know what? I love my husband more than I hate them. How about that? I love my husband more than all the disrespect that can come. I love my husband enough that I will respect them, even because, you know, sometimes we go to our family reunions and all that stuff. And hey, Judy, we go to our family reunions, and sometimes people you know, just fly off the handle. They say whatever they want to say. And sometimes they mean harm. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they're just a little drunk. Sometimes they're just off their mind, whatever it is. But we as Christian people, and I got to say this, we as Christian people, we should know how to say, you know what, let me not judge them on today. Maybe today is just a bad day. And if you keep saying every day is a bad day, then that's just a bad day for them. But if you're saying that's just a bad day for them, you're not allowing it to come into you. You're not allowing yourself to regret being a part of the family. You're not allowing yourself to go into a place of hatred. You're not allowing yourself to go into a place of unforgiveness. You're not allowing yourself to hit bitterness. You know, you're not allowing that, because what's going to happen is you're shielding that. You're like, well, it was just a bad day for them. I still came. I still gave them love. I hugged them. I said, hey, how's it going? I still tried, you know, and that's what any spouse can ask, as long as you're trying, because there's some people that's just not going to want you. They're going to reject you, all that stuff. But your job is to try, you know. Here's the other thing. Come on, no matter what Apostle Eddie called you. Come on. And so, you know, she's talking about her son right now. Eddie, I love Eddie. Yes. I love Jennifer. They are a wonderful family. Beautiful. Just a beautiful family. And, you know, one of the things that I love is the fact that, well, she says, I'm legally married last week. Lord, I knew I needed to.
And the Bible tells us, how do we know that we're disciples but by our love? Come on. So the thing that's going to separate, you know what I mean, you from the next person is how you're going to love your husband's people, your wife's people. You still got to love them. They're part of their heart, so you have to love and accept them. Now, say, for instance, they don't accept you. You still must show love. Now, do they belong inside of your marriage? No. If they don't accept you, then how can they accept your marriage? If they don't accept one person, let's say my people, they all love me. They like, it's Jay, it's Big J. Ooh, I love Baby J. Let me sing that song. We be dancing all night long. Like they all love me, right? But then they see her and they like, well, she too pretty for him. I think she just want him for his money.
You know, whatever, right? Lord. It doesn't matter what reason.
Hey, Vanita.
Hey, Vanita. But they'll have a reason. But if they have a reason to not like her, then what does that mean? That means that they don't like me. And we have to stand on that thing. Hey, look. I know that you don't like her, but if you don't like her, that means you don't like me. Is that the truth? And you got to kind of come at it with that. Like,
you're what?
You're one. Hey, we got married. We said for better or worse, to death do us part.
Put nobody else before it.
Put nobody else before us. Like we have vows, right? And we can't allow family members or friends to get in the way of our vows. Our vows mean more than anything else on the earth. Why? Because we made those vows to one another first, but also we made those vows to God.
Hold a minute.
We ask God to come down and make up the threefold Trinity inside of our marriage. The Holy Ghost to come in and make up that threefold thing so that we don't break. We can't be split apart. And see, if you're being led by the Holy Spirit, you're going to walk the Bible out. It's not going to always be easy. It's not going to always be fun. You might lose some family members that you thought you loved, but guess what? If they don't love you enough to love your heart and love your spouse, then they don't need you. And that goes for friends too. If friends decide that they want to talk about the person that you've gotten married to. Now, I ain't talking about before you get married. I ain't talking about like while y'all in a dating place and all that stuff. Because your friend's going to be like, are you sure?
Are you sure about that?
Are you
girl?
sure?
I saw him yesterday.
And they going, you know what I'm saying? They're going to have everything to say because they might not have what you have. They can't.
Or they're watching the jurisdiction to make sure it's right.
Okay.
You have some friends that genuinely care about you.
Come on.
And they're actually seeing from a different perspective. So
Boom.
you have to govern and also use the spirit of discernment when you're listening to your friends. But the main thing is going to be, you got to show love.
Yeah.
So even if they don't accept your spouse is still expected to love your folk. Ooh. Is it hard sometimes to love people that don't accept you? Yes.
Come on.
Jesus even said, he said, it's easy to love those that love you, but let me give you another principle. Love your enemies.
Woo! and then that steps us into a whole nother level. Let me do this. I got us. Maybe I could get some better lighting. Boom.
Bam.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Lord. Better lighting. We ready. I'm not as hazy as I looked. I'm telling you right now. So look, you got to love the people that love you. But you also got to love the people that don't love you. And we're talking about family members. We're talking about people that you feel deep down in your heart like, man, we're supposed to be in love with one another. I do anything for you. You do anything for me. And we're supposed to be that way. But when they break boundaries, that it changes the whole respect area. It changes the whole feeling. It changes the whole love walk. Mm-hmm. And see, I want you to understand this. When you have someone that is insistent on breaking boundaries, we're not talking about, oh man, they said something wrong and you checked them and then they got over it. We're talking about those people that are insistent, like, hey, look, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to continually say something bad about your spouse. Mm-hmm. Those are the people that you might have to cut off. You might not have to, you might just be like, you know what? Hey, baby, and here's how you do this. You talk with your spouse. You say, baby, they keep showing you disrespect and I'm seeing it. I don't want to punch them in the face.
That's called law of protection. You protect your spouse.
Come on.
You have to.
And especially if you're seeing it. Now, if you're not seeing it and they come to you with it, let's say my wife said, you know what, Auntie Waza does not like me and she just always does terrible things to me. My job is to say, all right, baby, well then check it out. I want to make sure I see it. But also, if you're feeling like she's doing too much, I want you to try to make it work. But if you can't make it work and she's always negative, then the next step is we just won't go over her house. We won't call her. We won't deal with her anymore. Why? Because there's no reason to deal with her. Because that's the whole idea of leaving and cleaving. We don't need to deal with that person. Does that make sense? And I hope it really does because you come on.
Auntie Waza.
Auntie Waza. I didn't want to name somebody's auntie, and then they be like, he's so prophetic, he's always in our business. Like, I'm telling you, every time we do these labs, there's someone that says, you were talking directly to my life, and I don't know how you knew. Hey, look, we just share what the Lord tells us to share.
It says, even when mom, brother, speaking negative about yourself, even when your most immediate
even when your immediate people
against your spouse, it is your job to protect your union. When the boundary of protection is broken, your marriage is open and susceptible to Satan. It is dangerous for women not to feel protected. That's how adultery happens with women. That's how women walk out. This is how you have a wife with a bad attitude. If she doesn't feel protected somewhere the trust has been broken and she did not feel protected, and now you got a mad woman. Like, literally a mad woman.
A mad woman. And you know, here's the other thing. Men. Let me talk to some men right here. Look, you want to be the one to make sure that you protect her. You know, it's not always a wife's job to protect the man, always. You know, even though in today's society we've seen a huge influx of softness, right? So, but I wanna just say
feminine.
Yeah, we've seen a huge influx of
especially in church, and I ain't talking about gay. I'm talking about
we're just effeminate. We've learned how to be. I think we should deal with that. We're going to deal with that pretty soon, because the people inside of church, we're trying to find mates, but all of the mates look like us. Everyone's wearing a dress shirt.
I were single, a manly.
Yeah,
man.
you want a man that can actually throw them guns, a man that might protect you, a man that'll take you away from harm's way. Like, when will we get that back? And I'm saying that blatantly because the truth of the matter is this: God never intended for men. I'm talking about to embrace all of the femininity. Now, I'm saying you should have a softer side of Sears when dealing with your wife. Yes, you should be able to give some level of emotional comfort. You shouldn't be emotionless. But I'm talking about the overextended level of emotion that's plaguing men now, especially inside of the body of Christ. We do not have to be overly emotional to serve God. Let's say it.
And I represent his emotion. Men take sometimes to figure out their emotion.
Yeah.
Wife, it's your job to produce that in him.
Come on.
Let me see. We're getting questions. Yeah, we
fire.
You know, I got that astigmatism. The blood.
Come on, prophets don't need no glasses.
Is it okay to wait? I'm getting questions.
All right, we're gonna catch these questions.
Is it okay to separate, no matter who it is? If they have entered into your marriage bond, they need to be kicked out.
Yeah. And how do you do that? Let me deal with this really quick. You sometimes don't have to make a phone call because certain people are just too close to be giving direct stab wounds to, because they're probably thinking they're helping. But the truth of the matter is they're probably not helping. They're probably damaging your relationship. So what you do is you just ease off of the amount of communication. You step back. You continue to step back. You keep stepping back. And eventually what will happen is they will say, hey, I noticed that we used to talk, but we don't talk that much. And then you'll be able to say, do you really want to know the truth? And then they'll say, yeah, I really want to know. That's your open door.
That's your open door to
all right, to say, hey, look,
you
kept disrespecting my spouse. You kept inferring things into my marriage. And I just don't like that type of stuff. And we're too close for me to just break your heart like that. But I thought that if we took some time, we could analyze this and talk very carefully with it. You know, because there's some people that are very close. Let's say mom, for example. Mom is very close to son's heart. When son gets married, it's like
you took my child from me.
You done stole something that I pumped out for I held for 8 months. I made you. I take you out this world. How many of y'all mamas done ever said that, right? So look, listen.
My mother said that.
Look, so mom may feel like she's helping. But the truth of the matter is you have to leave and cleave to one another and not mom. Mom can't be the third person in the bedroom. She can't control how often you're having sex, how you're having sex. She can't tell you how to use your money. She can't tell you to save some money on the end so that he doesn't know about it. She can't tell you.
When you listen to that, and every mom tells their daughter that. And I just found out that all races, it doesn't mean you black, your mama done said it, you're white, your mama said it, you're Latina, your mama done said it. Every race has told their daughter, put some money up for a rainy day. Do not take that advice. It's loosing a spirit of deception into your union. And when that spirit matures, you will not be ready for its outbreak. Please.
Come on. Because any level of deception and lie will open up the door for all levels of lies and deception on the other end. Remember, you are a mirror to your spouse. So let's say you're saving up money, but they don't know it. And this is what I mean. You should save money, but your spouse should know it.
You'd be like, where's these rolls coming from? Well, you know, what had happened was.
Yeah, and you know, I used to, and here's my other thing. As a husband, I would just slide her some money inside the car. I'd just put it inside the armrest. And eventually, she'd have a roll there, but then she'd also have a roll from a bank account. And I'd wonder, why is my bank account shrinking so quickly, right?
Because I would pay my bills, but I would pull out some and add it to my roll because I felt like, I don't know what he's doing.
Exactly. That whole level of mistrust, broken trust, and it might not even be something that you might have done. You might not have ever broken trust. But the fact that someone has broken boundary and inferred the fact that all men are going to cheat on you, so you need to have some money stayed up, or all women are going to cheat on you, so you need to make sure that she's not doing everything. You know, that level of control that now you have to take on. And notice how control sneaks itself in there. Now I have to control the finances. Now I got to make sure that the bills are getting paid. I can't trust you to pay them because I don't know if you're going to hold up money away from me or not. Do you guys see how this breaks us down? This is a lie from the enemy, and the enemy will continue to throw in lies until you shine a light on it and then evict it out. So again, let's say it's mom, let's say it's dad. Dad is talking, hey, you know he's never been good enough for you. You know you don't have to take that. You can come right on home. You don't got to take nothing. You come right on home. You know what I'm saying? He's trying to open up a door for you to separate before you even start. Like, you could have had an argument. Okay, fine. You have an argument. You're supposed to have arguments. Families have arguments. Families have disagreements.
Stay there and work it out.
Stay inside the house and work it out. Let's make sure we catch some of these questions. These questions. I think we missed a couple. Let me catch up real quick. Because I saw. Okay, you're right. Throw them guns. We talked about that. I want a manly man. Come on, y'all. And some of y'all manly men, y'all come on up in here and show y'all strength. Go ahead and say something. Put a gun on there and say, yeah, I'm a manly man. I'm looking. And especially if y'all looking for somebody, hey, look, stuff happens. I
put a muscle down.
Hey, somebody might inbox you. I don't know. But y'all better make sure if y'all get inboxed off of this, y'all do right. Don't be coming on this thing and messing up.
They hooked us up.
I found love through Apostles Carrie and Jermael, and then or I found some piece of garbage through Apostle Jermael. No, we not doing it. Let me see here. All right, Matthew came on. God bless you, Matthew. Kimberly Sales, God bless you. I'm just kind of trying to go back and answer all the questions. Sounds so innocent, yet it cuts deep. Come on, and it does. It cuts real deep. I've been told that money hold. I say I don't have to hold wallet as long as the bills are paid. Come on, as long as the bills get paid, and you're trusting your spouse with that.
But give an account.
Hey, look. She like, hey, now pass this hookup. Hey, look,
I understand things.
Look, listen. I don't care. For me, this is just my thing. Look, I believe that there's someone for everyone. And God authorizes people to get connected. He authorizes relationship. He loves people being together. Come on, Benita, come on up in here. I don't know what you're talking about, but let me talk to you now. Yeah. See, we got some very beautiful women on this line, and we have some very strong, burly men on this line. And see, that's the thing I love about our Facebook Live. We have prayer warriors. We got people that's praying. We got people that got discernment. So y'all can't get on this prayer. Y'all can't get on this line and act like y'all got a six-pack when you really got a keg. Don't do it, because they gonna find you out. The prophets on this line will find you out. I'm telling you right now. Look, listen. You can't get on here and act like you can fit. You can what is it? Where you fishing people? What is it?
Keep connection.
Come on,
y'all
hey
are
now.
taking me out.
Look, listen. But anyway, look, like, again, mom, dad, they think they're doing great by inserting agenda in, but the issue is they're inserting agenda based upon their perception, based upon what they had to go through. You know, and what they had to go through may not be what you have to go through. So you got to be careful. In fact, you don't want to go through anything that your parents went through. Our job as the next generation, and it doesn't matter if you've already been married once or twice, your job as the next generation being married is to not do the same things that your parents did. So if your parents got married 4 times, your job is to cut that down and probably get married once, right? If you notice that your parents, they were always out and about, they were always trying to club and meet new people, and they were swinging. Your job is to not swing. Be with your one person, right? You know, let me keep it real. We got some swingers out here, especially in the body of Christ. They be acting crazy.
They're in the body of Christ. Get delivered.
Get delivered. What y'all gonna do? Get delivered. You know what I'm saying?
I'm trying to hold it back. But
Look, we got some people up in here we got some people in here, right? That feel like, number one. Yes, she does.
Everybody keeps saying that, and I try to keep a dead face. I do, but my face needs deliverance before anything happens. If it happens around me, if it's funny, if I'm starting to get frustrated, it just my face needs deliverance.
Come on. Well, hey, look, listen.
Ooh, you better keep that camera right. Get that camera up. Bam.
Is it good like this? I'm trying to get us to a place where we good. But that's not working, because they're gonna see all the things and you're gonna be underneath the words.
I'm fine with it.
No.
Hey.
No. You're gonna get it how I'm giving it.
You're gonna lift the camera up. Thank you.
Yeah, that looks even better. Let me scoot back over. Let me get up in here with you. All right, look, listen. I gotta lean over because she leaning now. Are we good?
Yes.
All right, now look, listen. Again, boundaries. Remember, Adam and Eve, they had the Garden of Eden. They dealt with pleasure. That was what it was all about, creating pleasure inside of your marriage, right? For you guys that are not married, what's up?
That syrup is showing.
Oh gosh, get over it. All right, so look, since she can't deal with this, I'm gonna deal with it. I'm gonna find a good way to get. I don't know why your phone makes me extra dark. Like, I don't get it.
So
I am not that dark.
The camera
because I'm trying to see myself. I look like this little dark ghost. Come on, man. In the name of Jesus, lift me up. There we go. I need some light.
Come on over here.
I mean, man. Look. Yeah, because there's something wrong with this. Jesus ain't doing this. Let me go over here where some light is. Maybe it might be a little bit better. All right, look. So we had a pause for the calls. All right, now we doing something. All right, this is it. See, we in the living room, so we can do something different. This is much better. We doing it now. We should do this more often. Okay. So yeah, let's get back to boundaries. All right, get back to boundaries. Get to a wide angle lens for your camera. Come on. So look, boundaries. Mom, dad, they might feel like they're doing the right thing, right? Grandparents, they feel like they're doing the right thing, but sometimes those little inferences, those little daggers, right, can hurt. They can hurt deep down. They can cause sometimes for us to feel broken deep on the insides, because number one, they have so much respect. They have so much, let me say it, there's a reason why they're your parent. They got you to where you're at, right? So there's so much honor there. And when someone of honor speaks into something and it's not exactly the best thing or exactly the thing that you want to feel happen, it can break your heart sometimes. It can break both spouses' hearts. And typically spouses don't talk about the inference of parents. We don't want to talk about it because it's like if that parent is saying something terrible to the other spouse, you don't want that other spouse to get mad at that parent, and then you don't want to go into cahoots with your spouse against the parent. But here's the truth. The truth of the matter is you're already in cahoots. Remember the Cosby Show. They said this thing called unified front. All right, you got to have a unified front, when dealing with the children and dealing with the parents.
And this goes for children that you both
give birth to, or children that you have not given birth to, but they are now yours.
When you inherit children, they still have they are not in your marriage. Okay,
come on,
they are a byproduct, just like natural children. They are a byproduct of the marriage, and so they are not supposed to be involved in your union. When you involve your children into your union, you're breaking a boundary, and you're in danger of making your spouse feel less protected and less of a priority. And so we have to begin to even put even children in their proper perspective inside of marriage, so that we don't juxtapose our spouse's position in our life over our children.
And that's the truth. That's the truth. Keep everything in their right priorities, guys. The more you handle priorities, the more your boundaries are going to be strong. And the more your boundaries are strong, the more respect you have. And guess what? Everyone in the world wants a relationship that is full of respect. All right? There's no woman in the world that wants to be disrespected. There's no man in the world that wants to be disrespected. All right? So you got to build that respect by honoring one another. Let me see here. What we
Matthew, get the van. Let's pick up the studio lights and fly.
Come on. Hey, look. Whatever y'all got to do. Some of y'all need to just come on over here to Chicago. Yeah, I'm telling you, if you in Indiana, you in Iowa,
in Australia.
You in Australia, go ahead and make that trip. Come on over. Hey, look, there's tons of great people here waiting for you.
Yes.
All right? I'm telling you, that
Loved
Australian
already.
accent will change people's lives.
And we love you already.
You already have love waiting on you. Well, do you think
that the close family of the bride and the groom should attend maybe counseling session? I thought about this when you all were talking about parents can't tell you what to do. You, as a parent, you can suggest, because your job does not just stop at the altar. But the thing is, if the suggestions are impeding on the marriage, that's a dangerous ground for the union.
Yeah, and so as a parent, let me deal with this. As a parent, your job is to still continue to raise your children, even though they're married, grown. Right? Because even though they're married, they're still your children, right? So here's the thing. Your job is still to do that, but you have to ask permission now. That permission. Hey, is it okay? I mean, I have an opinion about this. Can I talk to you about it?
And my parents would just say, well, I got something to say, take it or leave it. That's how I do it.
Or take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
And sometimes we take it, sometimes we leave it. Because everything that's for them ain't for us. Everything that they feel is right, we don't feel is right, and we have our own opinions. And one of the things I love about her mom was actually nagging on her one day, right, about the children, about raising the children, how she's raising the children, right? And everyone that knows Carrie knows that she's an excellent mom, but she does not want to hear someone else tell her how to do it. Why? Because guess what? She's good at what she do, right? So check it out. She was getting nagged. Then she went home, right? The mom went home. Carrie continued doing what she doing, right? I end up going over to mom's house, her mom's house. I call her mom, so I hope y'all don't get confused. So,
I call his mother.
Exactly.
Mother and mama.
Mother and mom, So I went over Murda's house, and I was doing something for her, getting something. And here's what her mom was so humble. She was like, do you think I'm a little too hard on Carrie? I said, you do a lot. and I know that you have a certain expectation, but I mean, your expectation is rolling into a place where the truth of the matter is, I mean, she's going to do it her way. So, and you have to allow her to do it your way. Like we had this talk, right? And she was so humble to listen. Now, I know a lot of parents that wouldn't listen to their son-in-law. They like, you a baby to me. You better listen to me, right? Sit down, shut up, listen. Like, and it doesn't matter how old you are. When they're 60, you're still 30. You're still a baby to them. When they're 80, you're 50. You're still a baby to them. When they're 99, I remember we had grandaunts, right? And
my aunt Edna said about his father. My grandaunt was 100, and his father was 70. And I was like, man, Jerry is getting old. He turned 70, and
he still looks good.
And my aunt Edna said, he's a baby. I said, what? She was like, he's only 70, child. I said, oh, from your 100-year-old perspective.
you guys understand? So we have to be sure to honor the perspective of the parents. Now, if they allow us the door to share into their lives and share a perspective, then we can do that. And it's the same for parents that are talking to married sons and daughters. If they allow you the perspective to share and talk, then do that. That brings the whole family together. But if they are not trying to hear you, don't keep trying to beat on the dead horse. Let them do what they do. As a parent, you got to let them do what they do and trust.
If in the event you saw it coming and they fall on their face, just be there to pat them up.
Be there to pat them up, because that's what parents do. Again, you are still the parent, and we're talking from a parent standpoint to married people, and even from a parent standpoint to unmarried people. You are still the parent. You can give suggestions, but that does not mean that they have to take it. And you shouldn't take it as a deep disrespect or an offense if they don't take your suggestion, because they have to live life for themselves
and they have to do their house, and so
they gotta handle their own house.
We want to make sure that everything is in alignment. Now, as far as premarital counseling and involving parents, I know with our marrieds that I married and did their premarital counseling, I sent them to go talk to their parents, because I wanted them to get an understanding of what marriage looked like for their parents, so they could already know what perspective the parents is going to speak out of. And that's going to be very important when the parents are speaking into the child's life. When they see something going on, you're gonna want to know your parents' perspective on marriage, how they feel about marriage, all of that, so that can become a part of how you govern your ears to listen and take advice from the parents. But at the same token, they're outside of the union, so we have to begin to allow the space for the children to become one. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying the child should run off, get married, and never talk to the parents again. Absolutely not. I told you all before. I talk to Miss Murtis almost every day, okay? Mm-hmm. And I have my laptop right in front of me. I will call home FaceTime and just sit and watch her.
Yep. And she might not say a whole lot, but she gonna be there on FaceTime with mom. So what would it look like if I didn't like mom? It would be like,
hold up here. So you don't put me in the middle of no mess.
Exactly. Do you guys see what that looks like? And so creating a boundary of a love affair really makes a big difference. Come on, Apostle Z.
And because he loves my heart, he's going to love Murtis and Daryl and all my aunts and uncles. And because now I'm a 2-child household, but I got a gang of aunts and uncles, whereas I think he had a handful of aunts and uncles and a gang of siblings.
And I got a whole bunch of siblings and a bunch of cousins. And I love them all. I love all of my cousins. All of my family, I love them. And I do anything for my family. That's just where I come from. My family is kind of like this. We don't bother everyone all the time, every day. But when we need you, you better show up. Because if you don't show up, it's kind of like, you remember, I don't know if y'all grew up like this, but when we grew up, we had bullies and people that would feel like they could beat you up, right? Our family was the type of people, like, if you got beat up by a bully, we was going to beat you up second. Right? Mm-hmm. So it's kind of that way. If you don't show up, you probably going to get beat up by the family. The family's probably going to deal with you. And it's not going to be fun. So, our love is different. And every family's love is different. right? You know, because and she had to accept the fact that, hey, I'm not calling my mom every day.
Although I would say, don't you think it's about time you talk to your parent and spouse? You can govern that kind of thing, especially when you're trying to become one and you want the family to be on one accord. Like, there are specific steps you must take in order to involve the mother with the wife, involve the husband with the family. Like, you're not just gonna get married and then everyone's gonna come on one accord and everybody's gonna get along. It doesn't work like that. There has to be an open door. So, you know, I would say, don't, you know, you haven't talked to your siblings. You know, how is so, you know, how is your brother doing? How is your sister doing? You know, you should give them an email or a call or something, you know, check on them, you know, that way it stays on the forefront of his mind, you know, that someone is thinking about the siblings, someone is thinking about the parents, and to build a relationship, and to want to meld. You know, sometimes it's a little harder to meld, you know, wife and mother based on prior experiences with the mother. If the wife is turned off, you have to do something to get her involved inside of your future wife or your wife's life. If your mother is kind of overbearing, there must be a conversation to protect the wife, because a lot of times that's off-putting for women when the mother is overbearing and you know, just doing too much, meaning fussing, all in the business, talking too much, fussing, snapping out, you know, all of that. No one wants to deal with that, okay? So if you want to involve your wife with your mother and you want a good outcome, you have to build a boundary first with your wife and invite your mother into the boundary, or invite her to be next to the fence, is what I want to say. So you bring her in and say, well, you know, Mom, honestly, wife didn't like this, that, and the other that you said. You know, in order for us to all get along, this and that needs to happen. Maybe you guys could go out to dinner or lunch and let's talk about this so that we could all get along. Like, there has to be certain conversations put in place to begin to deal with that so that everybody can get along. Now, look, we have to make boundaries. We have to protect our spouse. Our spouse has to know that they're priority. And look, if your wife feels like your mom is too much a priority, that's called legal jealousy. And she has every right to feel like you're doing too much for moms, okay? If you're doing too much for moms and wife comes against it, it's legal jealousy. And inside of legal or righteous jealousy, you're going to have a fighting woman, an arguing woman, a woman that does not want to have anything to do with your mother.
She's going to automatically reject
She's going to automatically reject her. And so you have to begin to put your mother in the proper perspective. You are not married to your mother. You are married to your wife. And you have to build that boundary, that protection, and allow your wife to know that she is the priority over your mom, so that the proper perspective is there and everyone can possibly get along. Mom is overbearing, snapping out. How do you handle it for a female wife not dating because mom is too much or overbearing? Woo! How you deal with it?
I was about to talk about that.
Okay, you gonna talk about it?
Well, check it out. Now, it just depends on where you are in your relationship, right? If let's say you're about to get married. Let's deal with that right quick. If you're about to get married and he's a mama's boy, all right? He's absolutely, positively all about his mama. He sleeps with his mom. He hangs with his mom. They go out to make movies. It's like an amazing thing to see, right? All right. And you're a woman and he likes you and you guys are considering dating and getting married and all that type of thing, right? But you see this inordinate level of affection. Here's my first thought. My first thought is he ready for you? Because he's not, if he's that much into his mom, he's probably not ready for a wife. All right. I'm going to put that out there because you don't want to have to fight mom for the affection of the son. You don't want to do it. And you don't want to put yourself in a position where that's the red flag. That shouldn't be the red flag. And I'm speaking from a male standpoint. I love my mom, but if I'm going out on a date with Carrie and I got to choose if I'm going to go get peanut butter from my mom, I mean, I'm probably going to go out on a date, right? because I'm ready to be married. Does that make sense? Like I want everyone to understand that, like, before you get married, that you don't want that to be the red flag. Like, I think I'm gonna have to do something on red flags before getting married. But you don't want that to be the red flag, this whole inordinate emotion, because here's the thing: when you get married, he might not cheat on you with another woman. He's gonna cheat on you with his mom.
Baby, where are you?
I'm with my mom.
I'm with my mom.
And then he's gonna feel all this anxiety because he's with his mom and he knows he's not supposed to be.
Right.
Like, do you see what I'm saying?
You're gonna get going off on when you walk in the door because she's legally jealous now.
Yeah,
so now your wife is mad. Now she's looking like, so you can tell me that you was going to take your mama to dinner. I done cooked you dinner and you out there eating with mom.
And she has a right to be that way. All right. And it's the same thing for a husband. All right. This wife, she's out there with dad all day and night. Dad is dating her and you know, that happens when you're not married. Right. But it's like, you shouldn't have to fight dad to get, you know what I'm saying, a good woman. Dad should be like, hey, look, I done dated my daughter since she was 6. I understand her. I'm ready to give her away.
My dad, I'm ready. Made sure that every Valentine's Day that me and my little sister had something. So he would come home with, I didn't have any brothers, with some for my mother and some for us 2 girls. Because he, and so that he would know how, so that we would know how we should be treated and receive the treatment. He's not a harsh man at all. Like, no, not in the,
he's a leader. He's a quiet storm leader.
Yeah. And so he would always do for me and my little sister, especially that little sister, because that
oh my God,
girl is his baby.
Oh my God, that is his baby.
But you know, he made sure that our hair was done, our nails were done. We dressed a certain kind of way because he would say, "You can't leave the house like that." You know, you put some. When I started wearing makeup at 15, you put something on that. You know, handle that. You know, he taught me and my little sister how to be women. And my mother was very integral because my mother's, you know,
she's makeup, she's girl, she's woman.
He definitely did that, and so when my husband did come along, I was like, look, Valentine's Day, I had stuff from him,
and she had stuff from her father, and eventually her father was able to say, well, now I don't have to give her something every time. And now it's my time to do that. Now that's my job. That's what I like to do now. Yes. I like to give her things, right? So notice how the passing of the baton happens in a normal situation. Now, in an abnormal situation, the baton is not willing to be passed. All right, so that means that there's some level of control inside of mom or whatever, and it's just like, dude, I need to keep him right here. And sometimes that happens when mom doesn't have a husband, but the son now is pseudo husband. All right. And so that happens. We have to look at those things and say, all right, am I willing to fight this battle? That's if you are not married. All right. I'm dealing with that first. If you're not married, ask yourself, are you willing to fight that battle? Do you really want to go against someone that has 30 years knowing this person more than you? You know, or 20 years, you might be getting married a little younger. I mean,
I was 21.
Do you want to do that? Now, if you are married, let's deal with this. If you're married and you're dealing with the whole idea of mom is always using control, she's always controlling my marriage. I can't get mom out of my marriage. I need to be married to my husband and not his mom. I don't want to be a lesbian. I just want him. I don't want her. I need her out, right? And you know that this is how you feel, and you've said it probably once or twice to your husband really nicely, or you might have said it, or you might have went all the way in, like, your mama needs to get the out of my, if you better not pick up the phone when she calls, right? Now, look, listen, this is how you deal with that. Because the truth of the matter is, the husband still loves mom no matter what. He ain't gonna never stop loving mom. Mom pushed his big head out. All right. So he ain't gonna never stop loving mom, right? And so you gotta be able to understand that. But the other thing is this. If it is unlawful, if it is a level of affection that you like, dude, this is weird, dude, you doing too much. The man needs to be able to listen to his wife.
Protect her.
And protect his wife first. All right, I have to say this because it's going to deal with the wife telling the man, hey, look, I need you to not go over mom's house. Now, at first, the man is going to feel this weird separation anxiety. He's going to feel all of these issues. He's going to feel like, why is my wife giving me all these issues when all I want to do is take care of my mom? She's older. He's going to use every instance and reason to try to keep that up because that is a codependent relationship, right? But here's the thing. If you speak to him on a proper level and he listens to this scope, he's going to know that as a man, he has to leave and cleave and honor his wife first. Because that is the first thing in priority.
But you are still judged to love his mom.
Yeah.
You don't get out. If you're a saint, you don't get out of that.
You don't get out of loving his mom. In fact, if you want to have something healthy, you don't get out of loving the people that he loves. Now, does that mean that there's going to sometimes be some give and take? Absolutely. Yes. When you love the person that he loves. So this is how you handle it. You talk to him. You say, hey, babe, I need you to not answer this phone. I need to be with you. I need us to have some us time. You create that boundary and you let him know. Honestly, mom is always calling you. And if you're always over there, you can't have a relationship with me. We need to have a relationship first, and then you can have after we're done, then you can do that. Here's what the husband's going to do. After he gets over the initial feelings of I just got checked, after he gets over all the pride, all the ego, after he gets rid of all the fear of I didn't answer my mama's phone call, right? Because, they're still your parent, right? After he gets over all that, he's going to realize, okay, she's right. And here's what he's going to start to do. He's going to start to check in with his wife first before he does stuff with his mom. He's going to say, hey, wife, do you need anything? I'm out to the store. Do you need anything? All right, look. All right, you don't need anything. I'm going to go and get my mom some groceries real quick. Is that cool with you?
Or he's going to involve her in it and say, why don't you come with me and let's go and do this for mom.
Let's go do this for mom. Because
it's going to help build a relationship, a loving relationship. Women are nurturers by heart. And so if you're feeling like you're nurturing your mother-in-law, it's going to change the outlook.
Absolutely. And you know what? You should nurture your mother-in-law. For example, me, Murtis she didn't push me out, but I love her as though she did. You understand what I'm saying? So if she asks me, hey, I need you to come and pick up this heavy log, I'm over there. If whatever she asks me to do, I'm going to do it. And so that's kind of the relationship we have. And my wife is understanding of that because she wants her mom taken care of. Just like I want my mom taken care of. So if I'm not there, who do I depend on to take care of my mom? My wife, right? That's how family works. But when that person is using control mechanisms, right? Let's deal with that real quick.
And I'm seeing something.
We got a question. We're about to hit that question right now. But if mom is doing control mechanisms to try to snatch the son, doing control mechanisms to try to break you apart, bring division, trying to do control mechanisms through the children, trying to do all this stuff, guess what you have to do? You have to, number one, acknowledge it with your spouse. Hey, look, do you see this? Do you see that this can possibly hurt us? Do you see how this is? And they have to be able to say, I see it. They got to acknowledge it. Even if they don't want to acknowledge it, they got to acknowledge mom is acting crazy, right? All right. Once we understand that mom is acting crazy, now we have to come to a suitable answer. All right, what are we going to do with mom? Because it is mom, but mom is crazy right now. Mom is too needy. Mom is trying to control our marriage. If we had it mom's way, we would never have sex. Mom is trying to keep you out of the home all night and all day. She wants you to you got to get the medicine. You got to feed her the grits. She's able to do it herself. Why do you guys understand? So If that is happening, you come to an agreement. Number one, mom is crazy. All right. Yes, mom is crazy. All right. And you put it out there just what it is. Nothing taken away. Mom is crazy. It doesn't matter which mom it is. All right. And here's how we're going to operate. First, I'm going to put my allegiance with my wife. And you got to tell your wife, my allegiance is with you, number one. All right? Because we both know that this woman is crazy and she's going to do everything possible. We call that the Jezebelic mother syndrome. All right?
I say she's controlled.
She's controlling and she's controlled.
By
all right?
some demons.
And they're going to drive her to try to maintain control.
And my mother and my mama, they straight.
Come on, we got good moms. That's the reason why we have the authority to talk about this. Because we got good moms and we don't work through relationships. We understand and we work through it when it didn't feel all great. When I messed up in this relationship here, both moms was mad at me like I didn't raise you this way. The other mom was like, you a little stanky piece of whoredom and I don't want to see you no more. It was all of that, right? But we had to work through it.
We had to work through it.
And I had to maintain respect, even though I disrespected the union, which actually disrespected all of our family. You come on. See, I want to deal with that because sometimes we do stuff and then we act like we didn't do it.
We don't give an account.
Like we don't want to give an account.
If your spouse fails in the marriage, you do owe all the people an apology.
Everyone that is supporting your marriage, mainly your internal family, mainly first. That means you say you sorry to your wife first before you say you sorry to anybody else,
wife
or your
first.
husband first, right? And then if the parents have gotten hurt because of what has happened inside of this thing, because they like, there's nothing I can do and my baby hurt and I gave you my baby.
We got this right here.
We about to deal with that. We about to deal with it, but we got to deal with this first. Otherwise, they're not going to have the answers. They're going to feel incomplete, and I don't want them to feel incomplete. You got to deal with it, all right? You got to say you're sorry. I had to say I'm sorry to her parents. Why? Because I owed them the respect. I told them that I was going to take care of her, and I did not do what I said I was going to do. That's a part of integrity. That's a part of manly character. Men can uphold, even if you fail, you can get up and maintain your character. Women, you can maintain your character, all right? So here's the thing. She's crazy. You guys, you both know it. You make sure that your allegiance is first on one another. And then if there's sometimes when you don't answer the phone, you don't answer the phone. And you both have to be okay with that. If that means that some more controlling ways are thrown your way, that you have to look at her and say, all right, baby, you know this is more control. You know what it is. And I'm going to continue to resist this until that control breaks. And eventually it'll break.
It'll break.
Eventually, mom is going to be like, I can't do it the same way I was. Now, the other thing is, as a man, you have to be Jehu. You have to go and confront sometimes. And you have to say, hey, look, you're doing too much. And I'm not going to do this. You have to say no sometimes. You have to be a man. You got to deal with that, all right? So I want to make
women,
sure.
You have to have the ability to overthrow as well. Sometimes you have to go converse with your parents and, you can't do that,
Yeah, you can't disrespect my husband. You can't disrespect my wife.
House.
You can't disrespect our house. You can't send the children to disrespect us. In fact, we'll stop having the children come over if that's what you're going to do.
My dad told me this. Like, yeah, I give y'all so many sayings from my father till it ain't funny. Mr. Daryl Benton, y'all should just go and get a friend request.
Oh, he's going to be inundated. Don't you do that. He's a private man.
He's very private. So he told me this. Grandparents do not have rights. They don't have rights. They have privileges to their grandchildren. And so he made it so that it's not like, grandparents are supposed to just, they're obligated. He said, no, we're not obligated. We have privileges to them. I'm privileged that I get to see my they see them a lot. See these grandchildren as much as I do because this is a part of my lineage and I love them. I desire to see them, but I don't have rights to them at all.
Exactly. And that's a part of being a boundary creator. He created a boundary that works. As a parent and as a child, we said, well, that is awesome.
That sounds great.
That's awesome boundary. And we're going to keep that because number one, it protects us. It protects our children. It protects everything. So that's what we want to do. Let's deal with this question from Vanita real quick. It says, scenario. Mom asks her daughter, how do you feel about your husband hanging out almost every other weekend with his friends? This really is a problem, and moms know that her child is not happy about this. Mom is really concerned. She is not trying to be messy. Mom is really concerned about her daughter. How should the wife reply to her mom? Should she accept wise counsel as intended or push mom away? Now, listen. Oh, you want to do that?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
That just put me in a mind state the first time I read it when my husband and I were going through. And my mother, she did not like seeing me hurt. I mean, I was a toothpick in 2014 because I was dealing with so much hurt and pain. My mother would tell me frequently, I don't like that you're going through this. You know what I mean? And there is nothing. And my mother made it clear. She drew out a boundary. There is nothing that I can do about your pain. I can pray for you. I can talk to you any hour of the day or night. I'm here for you. And I usurped that as a lot. Like, I would call my mother in the middle of the night. If I'm up at 2 by myself, staring at the ceiling, well, now I'm staring at you on the laptop until 5 o'clock. And my mother is a good woman because she teaches at school, so she would have to be at work. But I was on the phone with her all night. Like, I talk to me, please get my mind out, get me out of my head. Just can you talk? Can we pray? Can I just word vomit all night? But she would never speak against the union. Now, there were times when she would say, I'm feeling like, something could possibly be happening, but ultimately it's your decision on what you're going to do. And this is before everything came out. She would say, I feel like something ain't right here, but baby, you grown. And she sent me to go pray. My mother, my own mother and my mother-in-law pulled me to the side and said, you need to go pray and you need to get to the bottom of what's happening. And so in praying, God gave me specific instructions and I said them back to my mother and my mother-in-law. God said, don't divorce, don't separate, don't stop my ministry, I will restore. And I told my mother, I said that final part, I'm going to need you to hold me to it. If anything happened, hold me to it. And so my mother is a woman of God. My mother-in-law is a woman of God. So mama and mother are best friends and they're both women of God. My mother had the ability to say, I remember God, you ain't getting out of this. This is what God said. So you want to pray? She was mad that I was hurt, no doubt, because she was concerned. My father was concerned. It was one day I was just so messed up that all I could do was hold both of their hands and sit in between them. I was shaking. I was so upset, but my parents did not cross any boundaries. They didn't goof off and talk about him negatively. They did not, girl, you need to come on back home. You need to leave, bring the kids, none of that. It was, they voiced the fact that they were concerned. So as a parent, it is your job to voice, I am concerned about you. Because if you put it in the right context by saying, I am concerned about you, it would help the overall outcome of how the child responds, because the child is going to say, well, my mother's not just blowing smoke or being, some kind of way. She's not being controlling. She's not being evil towards us. She's genuinely concerned. Concern is going to help you in the long run over control mechanisms. So she's not, if you voice the fact that you're concerned, she's not going to push you away. She's going to actually appreciate the concern, but it's going to be, now, how do you as a parent position yourself in the end all be all for whatever the outcome is? And so as a woman of God, the job is going to be praying through the outcome, praying for God's will be done and God's will be injected into the situation on earth as it is in heaven. And then being a support structure to make sure that God's will is done on earth as it is in heaven. Like I said, I was up all night, but the fact that my mother said, I'm concerned, or the fact that my father said, I'm concerned, really helped. And even my mother-in-law, I'm concerned. It furthered the agenda of caring parents versus control mechanisms, if that makes any sense. So make sure that, you're speaking out of concern and that it's known that it's concern, because when you're dealing with an adult child, adults think adult things and they'll be like, here we go, versus, oh, my mom is concerned, so now I can open up. And if you want your child to open up versus push you away, voice concern. Concern is always going to go longer and further, and it's more character building and it's more relationship building than control will ever be. Control makes people reject folks. Yes, Lord, release it. Bam. Last night, you're watching. This is very good. Y'all are breaking this down. My sister just recently got married, and she has completely shut me out of her life. When we used to be super close, now it's like I don't even exist to her anymore. She never reaches out to me unless it's convenient for her. I used to cry myself to sleep on a nightly basis because I didn't understand why she changed towards me. We spent 22 years of our lives together, and now it feels like I'm an only child. Now the job is going to be, number one, pray. You got to pray this thing through, because there can be some factors there. Maybe her husband got in her head and said your sister is being, she's being controlling, or your sister's jealous of you, or your sister's envious of us. Pray and find out what's the voice around her head. That's going to be number one. Number two, you might have to go out to breakfast or something and voice the concern in a calm manner, to just say, I'm hurt because I feel like you used me. You only call me when you want something. If you don't need anything, you don't call anything. And that would give her room to say, well, right now I'm trying to build so say for instance, it's not her husband. She's just trying to learn the ropes. Cause for some folk, it take a minute to get adjusted in your marriage life. You know what I mean? So it could be she's just trying to learn the ropes. So she's just trying to learn the ropes. Let her voice the fact that I'm just living life right now. And, I wasn't, expecting that, I was, using you, but please just be there when I need you. And that might be the thing. Like, when I need you, please be there. But right now I'm just trying to figure this out. So I wouldn't take like deep offense yet until I've sat down and talked, had a real heart to heart conversation and just put it out there. Like, I'm hurt. Like, it's like you dropped me, after you got married, and based on what she says, if you're listening to her heart, you'll know what voice is it. Is it the voice of someone saying that you're envious? Is it the voice of you jealous? Is it the voice of you in the way? Or is it the voice of you being controlling and mean to my husband? Or the husband maybe thinking that you don't like, her. Maybe the husband is jealous of y'all's relationship and wants to be closer to her than you are. There could be different compensating factors, but you won't get to the bottom of that until you have a heart-to-heart conversation and deal appropriately. And then, say for instance, she's saying, well, I'm just trying to understand my life now, my role in life. Your job now is to hold her hand and say, well, I'm here with you. I'm here when you need me, and I'm praying you through. Because, life transitioning into marriage sometimes can be really hard for people, because you're going through merging lives, it's a brand new lifestyle. And so she's probably going through that transition and not understanding the reality of the transition that she's undergoing. So it's going to be up to you, to be that sister and just really love her right where she is. And it may not be a slight on you. It might be she just don't understand life right now. Mm-hmm. While I didn't think about codependency, you guys have lived this thing. Yeah, we lived this thing. These 12 years in marriage and this 21-year relationship. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll give you some wisdom.
When I am married, what happens with mom? She is elderly, dementia, and my brother and his wife really don't want her to live with him. Wow. Is this nursing home time to protect my marriage?
You know what? Let me say this. Look, listen. That's your mom, and whoever you get with is going to understand that. All right. You don't want to get with someone that does not understand that you may possibly have to be with mom and take care of mom, and she may have to take care of mom because mom can't take care of herself. Whoever gets with you needs to understand that. It's just like someone getting with someone that already has 3 children. Or already got 4 or 5 children. Like, I know that if I'm getting with this woman, then I'm going to have to take care of these children. Like, and whoever does that, they know that, and it's just that understanding. So that's what you want to do. You want to get with someone because if you're not married yet, you want to get with someone that can understand your life and can be with you and walk through life with you, and not against mom because she has dementia, which is like a terrible idea. Like, who who does that, right?
And for me personally, I couldn't see myself saying no to any of our parents if they were sick.
Yeah.
What? My thought is to take care of the immediate responsibility. He's my first responsibility, but really, after my kids, really it's my parents. It's not even the ministry, you know what I mean? It's my parents.
That's
and
it.
So I couldn't see myself saying, well, your mama can't stay here. Or, no, I would be saying, bring her in. Especially if she's sick, and I would not be opposed to helping take care of her. We have to do a self check on what's on the inside of our hearts. So we like, your mama can't stay here. Your mama's sick.
That's
heart
not
check
really
time. That's not love.
And for some people, it may not be an option. But if it can be an option, make it an option. Help your mom. You know what I'm saying? I can't help but say that something inside of the heart that says I don't care about my mom or I don't care about her mom.
That's not love.
That's
how are we gonna be known? We go back to the principle of we are known by our love. If we're believers, we are known by our love.
We're known by that. Period. It is our station. It's like what we do. So if that means that you got to stop your job and now you're feeding mom, then so be it. You're feeding mom.
You're feeding mom.
And
now.
guess what? God is going to reward you for that. Your husband, and here's the other thing. Sometimes we get into places where we're actually doing all of this stuff and more, and it feels like we are not being appreciated. I want you to know this right off the top before you get to the place of no one appreciates me, no one loves me, and I love their parents and all this, that. They do appreciate you. They just haven't found a way to show it to you yet. All right?
I was thinking about when I was taking care of Annette, helping to take care of Annette with we had another question up here, huh?
Okay.
With my granddaughter before she passed away. My son got a chance to see me sit down and hand feed my aunt. And that actually opened up a gate for my son to say, well, I would never let you, mom, go without
I'm not gonna let you fail. Come on. I'm not going to let you fail. And that's where we should be at inside of our families. We shouldn't be looking at letting our families fail. As long as you get your priorities right. First is your husband and your wife. Then it's your children.
And master that. Make sure your wife is washed clean. Because if she's not washed clean, you ain't present her to yourself faultless. She's going to throw up some shade on moms. If mom is...
And even husband. Husband's going to throw some shade. He's going to be like, nah, I don't feel like going to this family reunion. And you're going to be like, why? He's going to be like, I'd rather watch football. Because he doesn't feel the love from you. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta deal with that. Let's look at these next questions.
Okay, I'm joking, but for Pastor, what do you do as a believer when boundaries are set and they try to walk over you? What do you do?
Okay, so look, number one thing is you have to have a unified front in order to deal with mom and dad. You can't deal with mom and dad by yourself. Mm-hmm. You can't do it. I mean, if you did do it, it'll just be like a conversation, but it won't be a boundary being set. Mm-hmm. And so you got to understand that it takes you and your husband to speak to mom and dad personally. Hey, mom and dad, look, listen, this is the boundary that we have, and we just don't need that broken anymore, right? And after you make that known, and people are going to try it because that's what people do. All right. Let's not play with it. I wanted to tell you exactly what it is. They're going to try it. You check them one time, one really good time. And your husband should stand with you, or your husband checks them one good time and you should stand with your husband. Right. And then let's say it might have to happen a second time. Let's say they hard headed. They old, they about their ways. You check them twice. Right. But at third time, you might need to just be like, all right, husband, you see this. I think we should take a step back now. Let's take a step back. Let's regress.
But you got to make sure your husband gives an account. Because if you just put up a fight and he doesn't say, I see this.
And he's not standing with you.
You're standing alone.
Exactly. And so you never want to stand alone. You make sure that you're standing with your husband when you got to deal with parents. Because parents, I mean, they respond to their child. Bottom line, they were trained to respond to their child, so they're going to continue to do that. So, and like I said, anyone that's just adamant about going against you and your husband, maybe it's time for you to take a step out of that and go into another place and deal with other people. What is this? I'm blessed. My mom loves and honors everyone that was in my life and those who are in my siblings' lives. Bless God.
See,
I love Nancy. That's awesome.
I love order. God's order and family.
This is so beautiful. Wow. With man, it's impossible, but with God, all things are possible. She preaching. She preaching, baby. I understand how you feel. Sounds okay.
Let me see. Let me see.
Awesome, Apostle. You're flowing. Yes, she does flow quite well. This is good, Apostle. Heart is good. Oh, this is good. Jesus, he come on. He loves me. He gonna love my mama too, and especially in a situation like this. Come on. Hey, that's it. All right. We wanted to make sure that we caught up to all the questions because everyone was hitting them strong questions. Boundaries are so important because where there's no boundary, there's no relationship. Or there's a shadow of a relationship. And you never want to deal with shadows. You need something real in your life. Realness requires real conversations. These type of conversations, when dealing with your boundaries, can sometimes hurt. They can sometimes be bad. Sometimes people can all out manifest and get angry and cuss you out because you have a boundary. I want you to know this before you begin inside of the idea of I'm going to protect my family. Know that you will have some people that's going to say, well, you can't protect them from me. You know, you're going to have some people that's going to try to destroy your boundaries, destroy what you're standing for. You're going to have some people that don't like the fact that you're standing with your wife or your wife is standing with your husband. Like they only want to see division because that's how they were raised. So you want to make sure that you gird yourself up. You might have some crying nights because, again, when a parent says something or someone close says something to you that pierces you in the side, it hurts. It hurts. And when someone says something against your marriage, like, dude, you've been working hard to get married. And I don't know about anybody else, but anybody that decides to get married, you will work hard inside of that thing, right? And then someone says something about what you working hard for, like he just never really was good enough for you. He's never gonna be good. He's just a dog or something. And you like, man, dude, he going to church now. Like, I mean, why you gotta be this way? Like you know why you throwing so much shade? Look, listen. People are going to do it. They gonna cuss at you. In fact, they gonna even gossip about you. Mm-hmm. You gotta expect that you will get persecuted doing things the godly way. You gotta expect that. To love that spouse's angry parents or angry cousins and aunties or controlling aunties. Controlled, possessed. Aunties, uncles, cousins, grandparents, parents. To love them is good. To love people that are demonically impressed is going.
Did you say demonically impressed?
Is going to push you into another dimension in your faith.
Yeah, it will, won't it?
You know what I'm saying?
Because when you love folk, you will be pushed into hope and faith.
Yep. Either that or you're going to get disappointment, disgruntled, and discouraged. And you don't want to go into that because discouragement would breed resentment
and other
bitterness. And it'll start to break into whole other areas.
You will get infested messing with discouragement.
Yeah. And then guess what? All the stuff that you were fighting against will transfer onto you, and you'll be wondering why you're so controlling. You'll be wondering why all of a sudden you got all this worry and all this anxiety and everything going on. So you want to make sure that you're doing the right stuff inside of your marriage as far as boundaries. You want to make sure that you're girded up and prayerful, especially when you're both creating boundaries for one another. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, let me deal with that. You need to make boundaries for one another. All right? I have boundaries with my wife. My wife has boundaries with me. For example, I'm not about to be up at no 1 o'clock, no 2 o'clock, no 12 o'clock talking with nobody. Unless she's up there with me and we're talking.
And generally, even when he's on the phone, she's somewhere earshot
she's talking
off.
With us.
Yeah, I'm on earshot.
You know what I'm saying?
And really, it'd be like, who is that?
And she'll ask me, who is that? And I must give an account. You do not, husbands, wives, you do not get the opportunity, nor the chance, nor the pride or ego to say, I'm talking to whoever I want to talk to. You don't get to say that. You get to say the name, the date, the time. You need to make that official. Hey, I am talking to this person. It is now this time. And if it's too late, and you talking to the wrong person too late, your spouse has the power to transform your life, probably with a punch, probably with a choke or something. But that's a boundary being broken. If you
speaking
guys,
up, excuse me, good night.
Exactly, good night. They have the power to change that relationship. Your spouse has the power to change every relationship in your life, from your parents to your children to your friends to all of your family. Your spouse has that power. Yes, you give them that power because you submit one to another. You live by a different rule. Mm-hmm. So that's how you get long-lasting marriages. You don't break boundaries with one another. You got to have some boundaries. So, for example, my boundary with her. Hey, look, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I know you, and I'm just making this up because I don't really have that many boundaries. But my main thing for her is, if you're about to go out and spend something, you're about to go and do this money thing, I need to know that you're about to go do this money thing. So I don't go out and do this money thing, and then I'm looking foolish because I don't got no money, and you done already spent the money before I got to it. You everyone can understand that. You know what I'm saying? Like all I ask for is some communication. Make sure that we in the loop so that I don't mess this thing up.
I mean, you say the thing too. If I'm on the phone, excuse me, who was that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm gonna ask her. Who are you on the phone with?
We're inboxing folks. Who was that?
Yeah. If you having too much fun, I want to know why you're having fun. I want to laugh too. I am involved. Mm-hmm. And that's how your spouse should be. They should be involved. I'm not going to talk to people that I work with for 5 hours. We're not going to do that, especially...
And when we talk about work with, we talking about ministry folk.
Yeah, no. Guess what? We have boundaries. We have boundaries for one another. Why? Because we don't want to see each other fail. That's our job. We are committed to success. Team Abdullah Anthony committed to success. You know, we're not going to fail. So you got to have certain boundaries. So if there's a certain coworker and they always laughing and joking and they got each other's phone number, guess what?
A work spouse.
Guess what? You can create a boundary and say, hey, look, listen, either we're going to quit the job. Yeah, you might have to say it. Either we're going to quit the job or you're going to leave that coworker alone. Period. Point blank. You're done. And we're not hiding it. We're not doing all this stuff. In fact, I need to see your phone. And guess what? Your job is, here's my phone, boo. You can see it whenever your spouse
say, no, you can't see my phone. It's your job to start praying right there. That's a sign.
That's a sign of secretness. That's a sign of deception. That's a sign of lying. That's a sign of covenant breaking. That's a big sign. In fact, if you can't give your wife all of you, then you haven't given your wife any of you. Oh, yes, that's a hard statement, but somebody better get it.
Too. If you can't give up that phone.
If you can't give up the phone as a wife, if you can't give your phone to your husband and you got all this pride, then guess what? You ain't gave him anything. And and guess what? When he starts questioning you over and over and over, when he starts dealing with you in a different type of way other than the way of trust, then you'll start to see, maybe I should have gave him my phone. Maybe I should have. But then the pride keeps building and you like, well, I didn't do it at then, so I ain't gonna do it now. No, you need to break that off. You need to say, guess what, husband? Here's my phone because I don't want us to fail.
Or your wife.
Or his wife.
Don't tell us about the husband and I don't owe you nothing. Yes, you do.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. And it don't matter what you've been doing. In fact, if you've been doing something wrong, you need to stop. Stop it. Share it with your wife. Hey, look, I done stopped. I'm done. But this is what you might see if you look into my phone. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we got to keep it really real on this line because guess what? We got some real stuff happening in these streets. And you got to be able to, look, Whoever you're married to, you should be able to give your phone to them just like you're willing to give your life to them. Look, if y'all stuck on a cliff and that person is holding your hand so that you don't fall off the cliff, that's your life inside of their hands. What if they said, because you didn't give me your phone, right, I'm about to let go and let God? Everybody would be like, dude, hit my phone. Hit my phone. And look, listen, if your phone is worth more than your life, then we have a major problem. That means now someone is inside of the marriage bed.
And that you need deliverance, because you're tampering with a kingdom of lust, and that kingdom only seeks to destroy you. That kingdom does not care about anyone. Perversion, fornication, lust, adultery. It don't care about those demons. Do not care about you.
They don't care about
the spirits that's operating inside of a person that wants you to commit adultery. It does not. They don't care about you.
Come on.
The Bible says a strange woman's steps lead into hell. What does that mean?
That's Proverbs. Come on.
That means that there's nothing that's good that's going to come out of a relationship that's been broken, that's been built out of breaking boundaries.
Come on. That means if you decide today, if you're deciding, hey, you know what I'm saying, I've been cheating, or I am cheating, or whatever, you've been breaking boundaries, that relationship that you cheating with more than likely isn't going to work out. Because guess what? You're going to reap what you sow. And if you can't handle that other person cheating on you the way you cheated on your spouse, then guess what? That is going to go down the tubes. Don't trust that if you're cheating. All right, let's deal with it. If, let's say I'm a man, I'm cheating on my wife, right? With another woman, right? Don't expect that other woman is keeping it all to you. Don't expect that. She's hoeing out when she can't get to you because you trying to play games with your spouse. Let's deal with this thing, man. We can't play games. She's doing the most. And guess what? She's going to keep it under wraps because she don't want to lose your attention as well. As much attention as a thought needs, that's what a thought wants. And a thought wants attention. So that's what they're going to do. They're going to thought it out. They're going to give you thought-like texts and sex. They're going to say all the right things. They're going to do all the right things. Why? Because they're trying to earn your trust. And guess what? The more trust you give to the other woman, the less trust your wife is going to have. Mm-hmm. And I'm just giving an example. Don't trust the other woman. Don't trust that they're on their birth control. Don't trust that you can say anything and everything to this person and give them your greatest secrets. Don't trust other people that are willing to break boundaries. Everyone knows that if you are married, you are not supposed to talk to that other person. You're not supposed to insinuate anything. You're not supposed to say they look fine. You're not supposed to. That is off limits. That is a boundary being broken. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I need to say it because guess what? So many of us, we're like, well, I can compliment them. No, you can't. Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's keep it that way. No, you can't compliment them on that level. Why? Because they're going to take it too far. Today's society women, today's society men, take it too far. Don't open up the door that you can't close. Because once it goes there, once you done complimented too much now it's too much, and now it's compliments in secret. Now we're talking in secret. Now we're having secret meeting spots. Now we done broke all the boundaries. I hope everyone can understand this. The other woman will never work. The other man will never work. In fact, they will be cheating on you while you're cheating on your spouse, and you probably all might catch something that you don't want to catch.
That you can't get rid of.
You might catch a surprise.
That an antibiotic can't get rid of.
Come on. And so we gotta be smart because Satan is seeking to kill us. In all areas, see, marriage is not, you can't play games with your covenant because Satan is trying to break your covenant no matter what, every way that he can do it. Typically is going to be with someone else that looks more exciting. That because they seem more exciting. Guess what? Because you guys do the bills. You guys raise the children. You guys are constantly trying to take care of business. it doesn't seem exciting anymore. So now this other person, and a thought can be a man, a thought can be a woman, it doesn't matter. Whichever way they want to break boundaries, they'll try to do it. They'll try to come in and they'll say, well, they don't love you like I would.
Lies.
They don't do that to you. I would do that to you. I would do everything you want.
It's all a lie.
Man, I'll make your soul call out. I'll make you speak in tongues. They'll speak all this stuff. They'll because it's all pride. They would, and pride is talking to you. If you've ever heard someone tell you all this stuff, tell you what they're gonna do to you sexually, tell you all this type of thing, what they'll do to you on the job, and your wife don't have to know, or your husband don't gotta know. I mean, and trust, it's going to come up. People are going to come up. Someone rolled up in a Bentley and spoke with my wife and tried to talk to her at the gas station, like, I want to pay for your gas and I'm gonna get some gas, and your husband don't even gotta know.
I was like,
people have walked up to me in Jaguars. They talking about, look, listen, you are exactly what I want. All you gotta do is just have sex. You don't have to do anything. I don't even want to have children. All I want to do is have you. This is what people do. People come to you
hell
looking. Yeah,
they're from hell.
Hellfire. Delilah.
They're from demons.
Demon
they're
Delilah.
By spirits.
Come on, they got all the money in the world. They got the body, they got the shoulders, they got the eyes, they got the height, they got everything you think you want. They're exciting. They're fun now. They're more fun than do you guys understand? You got to look at this for what it really is. This is a demon trying to possess you and trying to possess your covenant. Once they get you, now they have your covenant. Now they can do whatever they want. Now they can take pictures of you. Now they can sabotage you. Now they can siphon money out of you. Now they can do whatever they want. You need to protect your marriage. You got to protect it. And this goes for women. This goes for men. This goes for every marriage in the world. You got to have boundaries for one another. So for instance, if someone is talking to me, I better be able to give an account. What to say?
I would have been like, let me call my husband so you can pay for his gas too. That was good.
Come on. And guess what? I would have received that gas happily.
Right. Especially in Chicago. At that time, gas was almost $5 a gallon.
My gas premium right now, baby. I want you to pay for my gas. Pay for it. Go ahead. Send it to the Square Up app, please. You can pay for my gas. You can pay if
down the street. He could have just pumped it.
Hey, look, I would have rolled up. And I would have got this gas, and we would have all been happy. I would have shook his hand and said, "Thank you, sir. You're an amazing man."
Look, and kids was in the back seat. He didn't care.
He didn't care that she had 3 kids. He didn't care nothing. He was just like, "I just need to get it because she fine." And
from the lower parts of the earth,
caught him to the lower parts.
I mean, people. Let's not be remiss. You know what I mean? Like, even on Facebook, I woke up this morning to somebody trying to inbox me talking some "Good morning, your face pretty." I know I'm pretty.
I know she's pretty too. But guess what? If you can't say "Good morning, my face is pretty" with hers, we gonna have a problem.
Don't be trying to break no boundaries.
Yeah, we gonna have a problem. You inbox her, you're inboxing me. And yes, I see everything.
He's
and
crazy.
Guess what?
Because he's always in my account.
If you send a penis pic, you might catch these. Guess you understand what I'm saying. See me, I'm a nut job. I'm whacked out. I don't care, right? That's the whole thing about me. I stopped caring a long time ago.
Oh, God.
Because
he is authentically him 100% of the time.
Yep, and whatever you send, you might get back. Whatever you say, you might get back. And guess what? I have a special set of skills.
Come out, spirit. Just scream and let it out.
Nope, I got a special set of skills for some people.
Scream. There you go.
And my demon's still there.
Come out. So yeah, let's pray.
Let's do it. Hold on.
The pastor keeps flirting with married women in the church. Oh, he needs deliverance.
And she flirting back, coming to service ahead of the husband. She coming and riding. Okay, so that's a lot happening. All right, that's a whole lot. It does happen. It happens in the church. Your job is to pray And guess what? Guess what? Your job is to pray, 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 and prayerfully, God will break that off. And
hopefully it's just inordinate affection.
It'll just be an inordinate affection, and hopefully. it'll break off, and God will continue to use the husband or the pastor, and the wife will get right, and counseling will happen, and send that other person away. Because the truth of the matter is, anyone that comes into a church and tries to get with the pastor, they are an assignment from hell. Mm-hmm. Let's just keep it real. If you are trying to get with a married pastor, you are on assignment.
Or if you're married trying to get with a single pastor.
Or if you're married trying to get with a single pastor, you're on assignment from hell, and God is not in you, and you need to acknowledge it. You might need to just go to another church. You might need to get some devils cast out. But you ain't gonna get no devils cast out from that person you trying to have access with, though. No, that doesn't work. It's called inordinate, and God needs to sever that. That is a demonic tie. And a lot of times people come into church, they like, ooh, he's so anointed, and ooh, look at him, and they start rubbing themselves, and they sitting in the front with their little short dresses on, and they showing off and doing all this stuff. And sometimes people dancing too hard, showing too much, doing too much inside of the church. We need to cut that crap out. We as the body. I wish here's the thing that I love.
A first row. The first row belongs to my family, and the prophets,
and my elders that I raised up. And guess what? Ain't none of us liking none of us. We don't like none of us. Why? Because guess what? We talk too hard to one another because we want to see us success. We don't want to fail. So we not going to like one another. We don't like one another. Guess what we do? We love one another, and we go forth in God.
But there's no funny business.
We don't like each other.
So, there needs to be some orders placed there. It's like some church, like I had to learn through experience, even inside of the church, we need to put boundaries up. If you know that, spirits are
people got love spirits coming into the church. You
gotta put a boundary up. You can't sit in the front. Get on back there.
Get on all the way to the back,
and then I'll meet you at the altar at the end of service.
And guess what? You're not gonna get prayed for by the opposite sex. You're gonna get prayed for by the same sex. And if you have same sex attraction, then everyone's going to pray for you. Guaranteed. See, we got everybody getting up in there, and we gonna get all those demons out. The ones that don't like men, the ones that don't like women, the ones that like men, the ones that like women, all the demons gonna come out, and we gonna work this thing out. Why? Because we gotta stop playing games inside of the church, and we think that Satan won't ride up into the church with some short dresses on, or with this cut off shirt, talking about I just want prayer from the wife. Oh, she's just so anointed. Guess what? Everyone is anointed in a church. The marks of a believer. Guess what? Mark 16:16. Everyone can do those. And if you can't do them, then you gotta get trained up.
Question the belief system too.
You gotta get trained up and get your belief on. Get upgrade. It's time for you to go to a church where you can upgrade. If you ain't never cast out a devil, it's time to upgrade. If you can't prophesy, heal the sick, do the works of Jesus, it's time to upgrade. It's time to do the works of Jesus. You say you're a Christian. You are a Christian. You're following Christ. You're a disciple of Christ. Do the works of Christ. Christ ain't about to be hanging around talking about you know what I'm saying? Well, she needs me. No. Guess what she needs? She need Mary. Mary gonna handle that. Guess what? No one needs ministry from a particular person. I know I need to say it because we get into these.
Those are my favorite two words right there. What are they?
Come out. And I bet you people's demons is coming out right now. People that was starting out, they was being the second woman, they was like, or being the second man. They like, oh my God, this is too hard. Guess what? You don't need to be second. You can be first.
And that is an identity crisis. If you are fine with being second.
Who wants sloppy seconds when they can have the first meal? And then here's the other thing, the thought process of someone that's second. They be like, well, I'm good with it because I'm getting all that I need. You are not getting all that you need. You're not getting everything. You're not getting the first because that person is telling you they're not sleeping with their wife, or they're telling you whatever they need to tell you to keep you going. No, stop letting the lies fool you. It's a lie.
Every married person knows if you're not having sex normally, something's going on. So what do you think they're gonna do? They're gonna still have sex with their spouse and have sex with you.
Have sex with you. And guess what? Whatever is traded about is traded about. That's the reason why God tells us don't have extramarital affairs. You are to love your wife. Wife, you are to love your husband. Husbands and wives, submit ye one to another. That's how you're going to have long success. That's how you're going to be fruitful. Y'all, I had success.
I'm gonna
He gone, and I'm still pure.
And I'm gonna echo Matthew when that said, "You need more Jesus.
You need more Jesus." And guess what? He gone, and you are still pure, and you're gonna stay pure. Why? Because God has your life inside of His hands. And here's the other thing. If I'm your father, ain't no man good enough for you until they able to prove that they good enough for you. How about that?
Hey, Apostle.
Come on, Apostle Kiefer. God bless you. I love this man of God. Mm-hmm. Ain't nobody good enough for you. If I was your father, I'd say, ain't nobody good enough for you until I say they good enough, until I'm able to see a ring, a business, a whole lot of money in the bank, and somewhere where they can hold you up and hold you down and chase after your dreams with you as you chase after theirs with them. If I can't see it, guess what? They can't come over your house. You can't have no company until they able to get it right.
You can't have any company.
Guess what? I'm gonna be the same way with Maya. You can't have no company. Kai, you can't have no company until they show that they either. And here's the other thing. Let's say you want to get married young. You know what I'm saying? You 21, right? I don't expect for you to be a 6-figure person at 21. You know what I'm saying? I don't have that type of expectation, but I have the expectation that you will be resourceful, you will be truthful and honest, and you will have a job, and you will be working to make sure that my daughters don't have an issue trying to live life. Mm-hmm. Why? Because they can have an issue with me. I'd rather them have an issue with me trying to live life than have an issue with you and your brokenness trying to live life. My daughters ain't about to be with nobody that's broke. My daughters ain't about to be with nobody that don't got no ambition. Yes, I'm using bad language, bad English. Why? Because it's bad all around when people decide that they don't want to have a mindset to be married. It takes something to be married. It takes you actually having a job. It takes you actually being a provider. It takes you actually being a man.
It takes you having a relationship with Jesus.
It takes you having a relationship with Jesus. But even a relationship with Jesus will tell you, I got to take care of myself before I'm able to take care of another woman. Don't get nobody pregnant and you can't take care of yourself. You don't got, my mom used to say this, you don't got a pot to piss in and a window to throw it out. Get yourself some real estate. Go grow up. Get yourself a car. I can't stand it when people, they trying to get married, but they can't get no car. Y'all can't save up no money to get no car. We got to do this the right way. We got to stop acting like love is the only thing that really matters. Guess what? Because love ain't the only thing that really matters. Love will get you far, but trust will get you even further. Mm-hmm. Trust means that person has integrity. That person's able to put a ring on it. That person is able to deal with you even when you angry. Integrity, trust. You got to have something more than that whole affection thing. Because after a while, after you done had enough arguments, you might feel like you don't love that person no more. Let me talk to somebody. You might feel like, you know what? I'm tired of that person. And guess what? They done broke the last boundary. I'm about to leave that person. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. You want to make sure that when you're doing it right. That's what you want to do. If you're going to get married, do it right. Be integrous to God first. If you're already married, learn to be integrous to God first. It's so important. It's more important than anything else that you could ever do in your life. I'm going to tell you this right off the top. Your priority is God number 1, your spouse number 2, your children number 3, your job number 4, your church family number 5, and then everything else after that. Again, the number of grace. You will have grace if you do it this way. You will be blessed if you do it this way. Why do I say job right after the children? Because you got to feed your children. You got to take care of your family. And guess what? Whatever you got to do to get it done, do that thing. Take care of your family. Women, and guess what? I'm not going to say that men are the only ones to take care of the family. I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say that sometimes a woman can go ahead and have tons of money and be making tons of money. Guess what? Men, guess what you gonna do? You gonna clean up the house. If she's making some money, you gonna clean up the house. You gonna make sure that this thing is handled so that when she gets home, you're supporting her in making the money. You guys understand what I'm saying? Like sometimes we get all this pride and ego in the way and we get in our own way of being successful in marriage. Marriage is a two-person work. Not 3, not 4, not 5. It's a 2-person work. So you got to both work for one another. If she's out there working, go ahead and make her a sandwich or something. Make her some lunch. You know what I'm saying? Make her some dinner. You know, she shouldn't have to come home and clean up the house and go to work. Right? If he's going to work and he's trying to make it happen. Like, cause sometimes, and guess what? If you at home, you cleaning up and you taking care of children. That's what you might have to do. You know what I'm saying? Like we be thinking our minds get corroded with all this pride and this stuff that we see on TV. Like we're supposed to have a maid or something. You might not have a maid. You might not have someone to come and clean your dishes for you. Clean your own dishes before that person gets home. Make sure that they have something ready for them. You know, you don't want someone else treating your wife or your husband better than you would treat them. Because I'm telling you, there's some work people, the people out there that go to work, they want to buy your spouse lunch. They want to buy your spouse dinner. You should already have that handled. And then if they choose to, then they should already know about it. Come on. Let me see here. Being apostle, does ministry come first? No.
You ain't married to the church?
No. I'm an apostle. I guarantee you that. But I guarantee you that if I apostolize more than I do my husband work, I won't be apostolizing.
Apostolizing? We go back to the principle of rightful jealousy.
Yeah,
if he's more at Kingdom at Hand than he's with
her, guess what's gonna happen? Everything gonna get torn down.
Because I will tear it down.
Exactly. And ain't
this
nothing.
This is where you get the men preaching and the wife be in the background like. Because he's not living right at home.
And he's not taking care of business at home. He's not in agreement with his wife.
If the people see that look on her face, it's tearing the church down.
Yeah, because now the church can't trust the husband, can't trust the pastor, can't trust the apostle. Look, listen, I'm going to tell you this right off the top. It does not matter what your station is. You can be an evangelist, you can be a prophet, you can be a teacher, you can be a pastor. It does not, or an elder. You could be called to the nations. You could be called, you could have all that stuff. You could have all the paperwork. You could be in all the denominations. It does not matter. The strength of the anointing comes from home. You're not going to be anointed inside of the church. All you're going to do is put on a really great show. The anointing comes from integrity and the virtue of your lifestyle. I'm talking to somebody. If your anointing level is showmanship, then fine, great, if that's how you want to live. But I believe that God wants some people to live in integrity. We have to have integrity about our lifestyles. And integrity means, guess what? I got to go ahead. I got to take care of my own life with God first. So that's a ministry if we're going to talk about it. Your ministry unto God first. That means you and God, not you and the people and God, you and God. You worship first. You pray first. You go and get pastored first. If you are a fivefold leader, why don't you have a pastor? You can't call someone else to be you can't be a pastor to someone else, but you can't get pastored. Can't nobody talk to you. You don't have any level of oversight. Something's wrong with that. Something's wrong when you can't say someone else is your pastor. All right. And then you want to oversight and lord over everyone else. That's called control. That's something wrong with that. All right. Let's deal with that. But then after you and your life is handled, which should have been handled even as a single person, you and your life would be handled even as a single person. Then you get married. That becomes your next thing. Again, God first, spouse, children, job, church, everyone else. No one else comes before all of that. That's your grace, your 5-level grace. After that, then it's your extended family, cousins, aunties, uncles, all that stuff. You got to make sure your priorities are right, because when your priorities are wrong, everything gets destroyed. Everything falls into collapse. and I'm saying this as an apostle in the Lord's church. It doesn't matter what church I go into. My station is still the same. It doesn't matter. I'm going to first love my wife long before I love a whole lot of church people. It doesn't matter how big I am or how small I am. It don't matter. See, that's the thing that everyone needs to get. You got to get that in your life.
Men of God understand that wife is picking up the pieces every time somebody leave your church inordinately. When they just pick up and go, who's picking up the pieces and rubbing your head at night? Talking about you gonna be all right. The ministry going forward. You better go forward, man of God. You better preach the gospel. Never mind them. It's your wife.
Yep. And if your wife is,
people in the church don't understand. The wife of the church has a heavy job because she's the one that's carrying the man of God. When stuff ain't going right. Who is he bouncing ideas off of first? It is not the board.
It ain't the board. It is the wife. Before anything happens inside of any ministry, I guarantee you that if that person is married, that wife already knew about it. All right. Now, if that wife does not know about it, then we probably have a real problem. And it doesn't even matter if there's like we get these churches where we have that one man show type thing where he's just doing that thing. Right. And he has this board, but he also has the first lady, if you will. Guess what?
What is that?
That first lady should know everything about that business. Why? Because that first lady is the business. Let's say she's the leading apostle. My job is to support her.
Although I am not.
But it wouldn't matter.
Priscilla Aquila.
It wouldn't matter. And that's the thing that everyone needs to know. It does not matter, man or woman. It does not matter who leads. And a lot of people, they like, well, a woman can't lead. Guess what? A woman can. Get off that. Get over it. That's just like saying a woman might not be better with finances or a woman might not be better with the kids. That's a dumb statement to make. God does not, he does not say stuff like that. He's not going to be like, well, you know what? Because she's a girl, she doesn't have any anointing. Guess what? I believe that women have just the same amount of anointing as men. God anoints all of us. We just need to respect the anointing and do it the right way.
He said, my pastor's saying single. Praise the Lord.
Yeah, he got the gift of singlehood. He loves it. He loves it. So I hope that you guys had a ministry moment right there. You were able to get some wisdom. You were able to see the background of some church stuff as well, because you need to know. We
put everything in there.
Okay, let's do it then. Let's go through all the stuff and things. Listen, you can buy your books through the Square Up app that my wife just sent there. Just go ahead, tap that squareup.com store, and you can get your books, Unbreakable Marriage, Sexploitation. You can also get those amazing black and gold t-shirts. Now, you guys are going to see us wearing those on this Sunday. All right, this Sunday we're having Unbreakable Sunday.
Damn.
Unbreakable Faith. We're going to be celebrating, number one, the fact that God has anointed us to not break, not fold. He's anointed each and every one of you to not break. No matter all the stuff that Satan throws at you, you will not break. You will not fold. You will always win. And so we are celebrating the victory in Jesus Christ and being unbreakable inside of his spirit. So I want you to come out. If you're an apostle, prophet, teacher, I want to celebrate with you. If you're regular folk, you just need to be there. Come out, get the anointing, be with us. All right. This Sunday, 601 West, 120th Street. Come to Kingdom at Hand. It's going to be amazing. This Sunday, we'll be there at 3:30. All right. It's going to be a special service full of a special anointing. Also, I need you to subscribe to all of our pages. Go ahead at the end of this video, go ahead and subscribe to it. Just click subscribe at the end of this video. Also, go to Jermael and Carrie on Facebook. Subscribe there and then invite some of your friends. We want to break into the thousands inside of that. We just started that page, but we need your help to go to the masses, all right? Go to YouTube, Jermael and Carrie. Subscribe there. We're doing tons of stuff that we're about to put out into YouTube because that's an area that we want to touch. We want to touch all of our YouTubers, all right? So definitely help us there. Let me see here. Let me make sure that I'm getting it all right. I think I got it all. I think I did it real good this time.
And so if you guys would like prayer right quick, drop in there me. What do you call a person
Amen.
that who wants to date? But when I met him, I told him that I have high standards and that marriage material, and right now God is my husband. Recently, I had to dismiss him because he constantly insisted he just wanted to be good friends.
Did he just want to be
Did he want to be friends? Well, no. What do you call a person that just wants to date? He's a dater. That's it.
Yeah.
If he's not looking for a marriage relationship, then I would move forward and just keep him as a friend. He would be friend zoned it.
Yep.
Because friend zoned because there's absolutely no way that I want to be married and you talking about let's just be friends. We're unequally yoked in our mindset. I would move forward to a man that wants to be married.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Matthew. Said very anointed and gifted. Thank you.
God
and Matthew,
bless
you
you
are
guys.
anointed and gifted as well. God
Yes,
bless
he
you.
is. Yes, he is. And that Nancy and all of these people that are commenting, man, we love you
love
guys.
y'all.
CJ, Vanita, all these great people that is on this line. We just thank you guys for coming on and sharing this time with us. I know it's been a very strong time.
And it went a little longer than usual.
Yeah, we did, but this is a strong topic. So for everyone that you know, go ahead and send this to someone. Make sure that they get it, because this might be the answer to someone's marriage. This might definitely save someone's life. So we want you to do that. Be a lifesaver tonight. Share it. All right.
We will be on tomorrow with Marriage Uncut. So
Woo!
please tune in because we will be with another couple. It'll be like a split screen.
Oh, yeah.
And so we'll be going forward with that and talking about marriage issues. So if you have any questions pertaining to marriage, hey, you can inbox me any questions you have, and we could answer them even anonymously. No one has to know that this was your particular question.
Absolutely.
Inbox me, inbox Apostle J, and we'll begin to answer the questions during the Facebook Live on tomorrow on Marriage Uncut. So go and like the Marriage Uncut page as well. We do that once, maybe twice a month as well with another couple. So come on with us on tomorrow night. And I love you all.
I love you guys so much. You guys have a wonderful evening.
Night.
All right? We love you.
A wonderful day if it's daytime.
Yeah, if it's daytime.
I know
over
it's
there.
like 3 p.m. over there with Matthew and Nancy.
I know. They
it's 12 a.m. here in Chicago.
Yeah, we ready to go to sleep, baby.
Right.
Y'all see our eyes getting real low. We like, yes, Lord.
And so wherever you are, we love you. Have a blessed one.
Be blessed. We'll see y'all next time tomorrow.
Yes. Bye.
Bye-bye.